Hello there and welcome back. Sol here. Today we have Vampire Dr. T, tropical island on our archipelago. It was quite funny seeing that. So I went ahead and engaged him with heavy Zooka Cryoneers and Medics. There was a viewer on my YouTube channel that requested that. So I went ahead and did that. Let's take a look at our builders. You know, there's Halloween decorations everywhere. Some of our builders have pumpkin heads and masks and everything, so that's quite fun. So again, I took down Dr. T today with heavy Cryoneers, Zookas, and Medics. Why I bring the Medics with my heavy Zooka combo? Mainly because of rocket launchers. We know that rocket launchers tend to sometimes not shoot to the heavies or shoot over heavies if they're too close, or if they're in a weird angle, they target the Zookas. And instead of me having to worry about the Zookas and wasting GBE to heal them, I just bring a boat of Medics. And I have found that to be an awesome addition. I don't lose as many Zookas as I would otherwise, and I've been doing it ever since I unlocked my Medics. You know, it's a combo that I stand by. So I'm bringing 3 boats of heavies, 1 boat of 3 boats of heavies, 1 boat of Medics, 3 of Zookas, and 1 of Cryoneers. Let me quickly show you the stats of my troops. So my heavies, max level heavies, they are at about 6,700 and something HP, 144 plus 77 damage per second. I was not boosted, so the stats that you see here are the correct ones. My Zookas, they have about 360 HP points. They do about 700, no, actually, like 820 damage per second. My Medics, they are level 12, soon to level 13 max level. Thank God for that. So they have about 1,500 HP, and they heal 31 per second. What else am I missing? Oh, and my Cryoneers, max level Cryoneers. So they sit about 1,900 HP points, and they have about 150 damage per second. So that's about it. Just my barrage and artillery 22, and my barrage max level at 18. So let's go to it, and I'll talk a couple things about heavy Zooka while we take a look at this. So with heavy Zookas, the purpose of the heavies is to shield the Zookas. You know, obviously, you want your Zookas to last as long as they die. Ideally, in a heavy Zooka combination, you will lose some or all of your heavies, but all your Zookas are going to stay alive. That's the ideal situation. You don't want to lose your Zookas. Zookas load slower than heavies. So a full boat of heavies takes less time than a full boat of Zookas. So you don't want to lose your Zookas. But in any case, heavies do take more time than riflemen. And that's why I usually use riflemen on my combination, because they load a lot faster. Now, with heavies, you don't have to worry about splash damage defenses up to a certain point, and you're going to see that in a second. Because heavies get really, really close to machine guns. They get really, really close to flamethrowers. So they're going to eat the full damage of a machine gun and the full damage of a flamethrower. And if you're not careful, you're going to lose your heavies really, really quickly. If you have done operations, you know heavies die very quickly to flamethrower, mortar fire, machine gun fire because of the heavy boost. And on the later stage of Dr. Terror, it's sort of the similar thing. So you see, in the first few stages, I don't care too much about my heavies. I just load them and land them and just let them go to it. And as I progress through, you know, thinking I want to keep my heavies alive, I'm going to be doing certain things at certain moments in time. All right, so that was stage 2. Let's take a look at stage 3. You haven't lost any troops yet. You know, on this stage, here's where things starts getting a little bit harder. If you can GBE that rocket launcher to make your life easier if you're using heavy Zooka, that would be good. Okay, so here's the first thing, you know, that I'm starting to practice. whenever you usually with heavy Zooka, you want to land your heavies first, so that they start taking fire, and so that your Zookas can land safely. And that's what I did here. I have also medics, so I have to take into consideration that the medics are going to be a little bit behind. Now, if this would have been a higher level Dr. T stage, or an operation, or even a heavily iced base, that flamethrower would have been firing at my heavies for 2 to 4 seconds until the Zookas would have arrived to take that flamethrower out. Remember, the punch is the Zookas. The Zookas have the punch to take everything out quickly, to prevent your heavies from dying from silly things like a flamethrower. But if you land your troops and your heavies first and then have a little bit of a delay, your Zookas are going to take 2 to 4 seconds to get there. Now, a good technique to do is, once your heavies get to a position, you flare and smoke to a position where everybody's going to group up. And after everybody groups up, then as the smoke clears up, the heavies a one punch is going to kill everything else, and then the heavies can move forward and do what they do best, which is shielding. So let's take a look at this. So here you see, I smoked in. My Zookas have still not arrived to position. Now they started to arrive. All right. I do a quick reflaring to get everyone in position. And actually, if that flare I would have put it a little bit behind, it would have been a lot better. In any case, now that they're there, I can do one single shock. I send couriers to the mines, and then you see, I punched through. Now that rocket launcher you saw was targeting my Zookas. Medics sealed the Zookas right away, so no harm, no foul. If I didn't have my medics there, those Zookas would have probably died. All right, let's speed this up. So you saw that's the difference between having your Zookas go first, take a lot of unnecessary damage before they can take a defense out, and then your Zookas arriving late. Whereas here, everybody was on point the moment the fight started. Okay? All right, so that was stage 3. Let's take a look at stage 4. All right, in this stage, the right side of the map looks a lot easier than the right side, just because of the machine guns, of the flamethrowers. Also, you had a rocket launcher, so I decided to go right side. But if your Hooka is strong enough, you can probably push through the left side, no problem. I just didn't want to have to mess with that, so I took down the boom cannon there and the boom cannon on the back, because I know this set of boom cannons and cannons I can shock in one, or keep distracted with a critter box. All right. So here you're gonna see me. I'm gonna land a heavy first, all the Zookas afterwards, and then have a two heavies trailing behind. Oh no, actually no, I didn't. I just did a staggered Hooka landing. You know, rocket launcher is still targeting the heavies. Heavies are gonna be healed by the guys, by the medics, so that's not a biggie. So there before. This is a beautiful attack. You see, this combination works because heavies go in the front, Cryoneers in the middle, Zookas in the back, and Dr. T doesn't stand a chance here. You know, this combo I like because, you know, it works because it works. I mean, I have nothing else to say about it. It just, like, the sheer combination of HP and damage per second is just brutal. You use it well, you can beat almost any bases if you can stand taking losses from your heavies and doing the reload times. All right, so here, stage 5, again, no losses still. Let's see what we did here. I honestly do not remember what I did. I want to say I landed. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So this is where I landed. You know, 2 heavy boats in the front. Let them gather up a little bit and then flare to the corner. That sniper tower is going to fire at the heavies. That's not a big of an issue. So here, take a look at this. That you know, yes, that flamethrower was firing at that heavy. That was the first heavy that arrived. And yes, that cannon and sniper tower were also firing at him. But if you give it enough time without your Zookas arriving, those heavies are gonna start feeling the burn out of that flamethrower, especially at the higher level. And you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that in a second. Right side is obviously the better choice. More compact. Your chucks can do a lot. You're able to chuck more with less. Yes, you have a bunch of mines, so if you clear them before your heavies get there, you shouldn't have any losses. You have to be careful with that kind of reflaring. If you have a mortar, a high-level mortar, he's gonna fire at the troops that were closest to him, which are gonna be the troops that are gonna be farther behind. Therefore, your Zookas might be in trouble. So you have to be careful with that kind of reflaring. Try to smoke the reflare point before as you do it. Otherwise, you may lose some Zookas here and there. All right, so that was stage 5. Let's take a look at stage 6. Here, I started getting some losses. Lost 1 Cryoneer, 1 Zooka, and 6 heavies. All right, this is a heavily fronted base. No matter what we do, it's gonna be hard. I had enough GBE to take most of the defenses out. For those of you who don't, you have to be judicious on how you do it. So I'm gonna take with GBE with artillery that rocket launcher in the front. I don't want it there because what's gonna end up happening is gonna shoot at the Zookas, and I don't want that happening. Now I'm gonna look at my end game. My end game is I'm gonna be right here in front of the HQ. Therefore, that cannon and boom cannon are gonna be in range. So I want to take with GBE artillery right in the middle. Those three defenses. And anytime you want card, okay, here we go. So that's it. Took it out with GBE. Now I still have enough GBE to send 2 barrages to those shock launcher, and then I realized, oh no, I'm not gonna have enough GBE to smoke in. So that was a fail. I should have calculated beforehand. I thought I would have taken it out, but I didn't. But no problem, because I still have to chuck. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a stagger hookah landing. And I wasted 1 more smoke than I wanted to. Let me speed this up because I don't know. Here I was starting to figure out if I was going to use artillery or not. And at one point I decided, no, it's not worth it. I need to keep my GBE. All right. So take a look at this landing. It's a similar landing that I did yesterday for Gearheart. So you put a flare in the middle. Send smoke to either corner, and then with both fingers at the same time, you land your 8 landing crafts. And then at the last second, you send your last smoke. That smoke should have been a little bit higher up, and it wasn't. So, because that then forced some of my heavies to be out of the smoke. Either way, my Zookas are still good. Now I shock, and because my heavies went out of the smoke early, then that was unfortunate. But then I shocked in. Let me put it on normal speed, and you see. So if I had done this better, none of those heavies would have been taking fire. So now take a look at this. Look at that. Yes, there's a cannon firing, but that flamethrower is just melting through them. You know, if enough time passes, those heavies are gonna get wrecked. All right, so once I clear a hole there, I flare back, take a clear the pack, make sure that those rocket launchers are not firing at my guys. I did the reflare, and then just go from there. I mean, from here, it's not gonna be that hard. Operated archers tried to save some heavies there, so I took down those 2 boom mines. Replay failed. Jeez. All right. Well, from that corner, I just let my troops naturally go around, swipe everything that was left, and then engage the core. That's essentially it. All right, stage 7. I'm not gonna lie, stage 7 was a doozy with heavy Zooka, just mainly because you had what? You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boom cannons, and 1 cannon, high-level mortars. It was crazy. Now, you're gonna see me take the super hard way. And why did I take the hard way? It was because if I would have taken with GBE that shock launcher and that rocket launcher, I wouldn't have enough GBE to take those rocket launchers out. That shock then would have at some point would have started having range about here. So I wanted to take out the shock launchers and the rocket launcher here there. That was my initial goal. So I was gonna land right here in the front and take those defenses that you can see right there in the screen. Take them with the hookah, then reflare back and go to this corner. Now, by the time I was already done with that, I had lost a significant amount of troops, and I had already done a lot of progress on the left side, so I decided to keep pushing it. So let's take a look what I did. So 2 barrages, 3 artillery took down that cluster. So now we're down a boom cannon and 2 rocket launchers, which is good. Now we only have 1 rocket launcher left and 2 rocket launchers left and 2 shock launchers. And this is where I was saying that I spent 1 extra smoke on the landing. It should have been only 3, a 3 smoke landing. So I land my Zookas first. And I land my medics last because I want my medics to be right there. I don't want them wandering. Again, they went out of the smoke. I have to shock very early to keep everyone alive. And here you see that flamethrower. Those heavies were only being fired by the flamethrower. That's the only thing that's fired at those heavies right now. And you see how they are. They're on the red right now. In any case, I start pushing. I still need to get rid of that shock launcher and that rocket launcher. And here's what I was saying. By the time I clear the shock launcher and the rocket launcher, I had already made a lot of progress on that side. So it didn't make sense for me to reflare to the back, run the chance of that rocket launcher firing. So I just kept pushing on this side. And it turned out to be good. I mean, I lost a bunch of my heavies. I think most of them. I lost most of my heavies. But again, like I was saying, ideally at the end of the match, you want to make sure you don't lose your heavies. You don't lose your Zooka, sorry. I still have 3 heavies left, 2 heavies left on the Cryoneers. And here's where the Cryoneers came out. They were the MVP. They kept everything on stasis. Even if the rocket launcher was firing at me, he wasn't doing it as fast enough to do any real damage to my Zookas. My medics could keep up with healing them, and with just 1 heavy left, I managed to get into position. So take a look. It says that I lost all my heavies, and I don't know if that's the case. I don't think it was. I don't think it was, to be honest. But replayers, it's a known bug of the replays. But that's essentially what I did for Dr. T today with heavy Zookas. Let's see. Yeah, it says that I lost them all. So, well, that's good. So I lost 13 Zookas out of 39. So that's 1/3. I lost 1 boat. I lost half of my Cryoneers, and I didn't lose any of my medics, and I lost all my heavies. But Dr. T went down without any boost. I want to say stage 6, stage 7 were a little bit harder. So you guys are low level are gonna have a little bit of a hard time getting it. Now, don't worry. You're gonna get there at some point. Really looking forward for Mega Crab, which is arriving on the 28th, on Friday the 28th. So get your diamonds ready. I'm for one, I'm just gonna go for high level. I don't know how high I'm gonna get. I don't remember how high I got the last time. But having most of my stuff upgraded, I see no need for the resources. So I'm just gonna go for broke in terms of trying to get as far as I can. Well, guys, this is it for today. Again, if you have any questions, if you like, leave a comment. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe. It's really helpful. We have increased about 13 new subscriptions on the last week, which is really amazing. Thank you for all that. And without anything else to say, I'll say bye-bye and check you guys later.